Coming up on KSP News, Kirkwood's Eagle Tech gets a megabyte closer to reality. We'll take you inside. Temperatures drop, cars don't start. We'll help you ease back into winter. And could it be the real end of the world? Some people say an ancient calendar says it could be.
I'm Chris Ackman.
And I'm Taylor Van Fleet. Those stories plus the beautiful art of glass blowing and helping out others this holiday.
This is the KSP News from the studios of Kirkwood Community College.
From the campus of Kirkwood Community College, this is news from Kirkwood Student Productions.
When Kirkwood students return for spring semester classes, they'll have a new place to go for all their tech supplies.
The new Eagle Tech store coming to campus is beginning to look less like a construction site and more like a new tech haven.
The store is located across from the bookstore. From Apple to Dell, manager Nate Walter says the new facility will be a big plus for students and faculty.
My technician, Matt Lukemeyers, and Craig Hewins, my technology buyer for the store, went around campus and talked to instructors from all different departments to really hone in on which computer, whether it's an Apple or Dell and HP, to figure out which one is the best for that department. And we wanted to compile a list together so students knew when they came in, whether it's returning students or new students, what is the best fit for them.
The store will also offer students tech support right on campus.
We want them to come in to get suggestions on what we think or what they need for their classes depending on their major. If they need help setting it up, have simple troubleshooting, need help with updates, we'd be able to help them. Or if something goes wrong and they have to have warranty work and repairs on the computer, we can take care of that, and we can also do non-warranty work.
At news time, Walter did not have a definite date for the opening, but said it will happen in December.
You can almost hear the groans when the temperatures start to drop each winter. The long walk from the parking lot seems even longer, and you could find your car doesn't even start some mornings. Winter is a time when an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Being prepared is everything. We have some friendly reminders from the AAA Auto Club. Make sure your car is in the best possible working condition. Have belts and hoses checked, check tire pressure and antifreeze, and have an emergency kit in the car with things like blankets, a working flashlight, and granola bars to eat if you're stranded. Also, keep your cell phone charged. It could be your lifeline. Dress for the weather, and if your car does break down, stay in it rather than wandering into the elements.
Now is also a good time to sign up for the Kirkwood alert system on your cell phone. It is one of the fastest ways to find out if the campus will close due to bad weather. Other important college-related information is sent out through the alert system as well. If you're on the Kirkwood system, you can visit kirkwood.edu/alert. For students who are not on the Kirkwood system, go to alert.kirkwood.edu. Both sites can also be reached through the main Kirkwood website.
In the fall of 2015, Kirkwood plans to open a new regional center at the University of Iowa Oakdale campus in Coralville. The center will offer a variety of courses starting with the high school career academies.
It'll be a facility that serves quite a few students. Initially it'll serve about 500 high school students a day. Those high school students will be taking different career academy classes, technical in nature in some cases like auto tech, industrial tech types of courses, architecture and construction, all the way to different types of engineering classes in the Project Lead the Way program. Then we'll also look at health classes like patient care, phlebotomy.
Right now, Kirkwood's Iowa City presence is primarily on this campus located on Lower Muscatine Road.
Not a day goes by that someone doesn't predict the end of the world. But now some people are taking it a little bit more seriously thanks to an ancient Mayan calendar. KSP's Christina Paul reports.
December 21st, 2012 has gotten a lot of attention recently as possibly being the end of the world according to the Mayan calendar. Because the Mayans were very gifted both mathematically and astronomically, and because the final date on this calendar corresponds to December 21st of this year, there's been plenty of speculation about this being the end of the world as we know it.
Because it's going to be a big war over food and water.
We spoke with Dr. Laura Yost, professor of Central American Studies at Kirkwood, to find out more.
Most archaeologists and historians, I think, would argue that the Maya simply predicted time up to that point, and some argue specifically the Maya did believe something was going to occur, but something in the skies and the heavens, nothing cataclysmic, but something of some importance. So it wasn't as if they thought it's all going to end. I think, honestly, it was just that they continued counting up to that Baktun, and then they just didn't have an opportunity to count beyond that.
Christina Paul, KSP News.
Regardless of the interpretation of the Mayan calendar, we still plan on being here to bring you news next semester.
Coming up on KSP News, a medical simulator at Kirkwood takes hands-on learning to an all-new level.
And the delicate art of glass blowing. Students at Kirkwood are learning the ancient art. You're watching the Kirkwood Student Production News.
To help keep yourself and others alive, don't drink and drive.
Apartment living. You share the space. Be respectful.
Welcome back. Most people know that hands-on experience is the best way to learn.
But the medical simulator on campus here at Kirkwood is taking that idea to an entirely new level.
At first, it looks like a full-size emergency room. But take a second look and you'll find a control room, artificial patients, and even a fully operating ambulance. The Medical Simulation Center here on the campus has made itself out to be just one of the many hidden gems at Kirkwood. The Healthcare Simulation Center provides the nursing students here on campus with some unique hands-on opportunities that have made this Kirkwood program truly one of a kind. Sheila Crook-Lockwood, coordinator of the Sim Center, explains more.
They participate in an actual simulation, an actual healthcare scenario that they would really encounter. So if it's nursing, it would be a simulation that would pertain to them taking care of a person who maybe has alcohol withdrawal or somebody who is having a gastrointestinal bleed. So they'll actually experience what would you do with a patient who has this.
Students observe and take part in different procedures while instructors change the patient vitals from the control room. The facility even offers an in-home simulation room for on-site paramedic training. For the future of these nursing students, helping save lives just became a bit more real. Making the shift from a lab to a real-life hospital will now make it easier than ever for students here at Kirkwood.
Glass blowing is an art form that is alive and well at Kirkwood. It requires meticulous work, but the final outcome is worth it. KSP's Jamal Smith reports.
Glass blowing, an art that's been around since Roman times. Professor Conifer Smith here at Kirkwood Community College has been teaching glass blowing for 12 years, a craft and skill that has not changed much since then.
The hot shop work starts the second half of the semester after I'm familiar with the students, and I feel like I have given them the history of glass and the culture associated with glass, which is a world culture, it's a global culture.
Glass blowing here at Kirkwood is a popular course, and classes fill up fast. There is no prereqs, and you should get started.
And they come into the hot shop and they start out by working with the hot glass, and they go through a series of assignments and steps where I demonstrate, and then I work with them, and they make ornaments, basic blowing a sphere, attaching something to it, and then they move into making vessels, and they also do some sculpture.
Showing in expeditions and demonstrations This sale was very successful on November 13th and 14th.
We're very thankful for the faculty, staff, and students at Kirkwood who come and purchase work from us.
Jamal Smith, KSP News.
Imagine pulling together 50 people you don't know and creating a polished on-stage performance. That's what the Kirkwood Theater Department does each academic year. Director of Theater Productions Rick Anderson sat down with us to talk about the joys and challenges of creating stage productions.
We are constantly reading plays. We're reading now for next year, and then we try and set a varied season so that our students get as many varied experiences as possible.
The next stage production for the theater department will be a play written by comedian Steve Martin. It's about Picasso meeting Einstein in a play entitled Picasso at the La Pont Agile.
Coming up on KSP News, the Kirkwood men and women head into regular conference play. We'll have an update.
And later, some Kirkwood students had more than a healthy glow at an annual event.
The hotel at Kirkwood Center is officially open for business, where students learn the hospitality management industry from a professional staff. The hotel has 71 rooms and 6 suites. It also includes the Class Act restaurant, where culinary arts students and restaurant management students learn their trade. As General Manager Lee Belfield said, our mission is to produce graduates who will lead our industry over time around the globe. The hotel at Kirkwood Center is located on the south side of campus. Be sure to check it out.
An upset at the National Volleyball Tournament, and basketball heads into conference play.
KSP's Marcus Schupp is here with us now for sports.
Kirkwood Volleyball closed out the season with a trip to nationals, losing to Owens Community College in a first-round upset. Still, the Eagles closed out the season with an overall record of 40-9. They were 9-1 in the conference. Head coach Jill Williams had a chance to put it all into perspective after Thanksgiving break.
It was a really fun group because they were on a mission, and I think in some respects they were under the radar of many, and yet they knew where they were going and how they were going to get there, and that was fun to be a part of. Definitely all 15 of them bought into what we were trying to do. It was a good fit athletically, personality-wise. It was a great fit. And it makes it a lot of fun when you have a group of people together that get along as well as they did.
And Jill Williams is already getting her players ready for next season.
We actually have kind of a dead period where we can't do anything with our teams. So we'll meet up and as a coaching staff, and for the most part we just get things planned for spring, what we're going to do. Our recruiting plan is already in place, and I guess that's what prepares us for next year, is trying to get all the pieces of the puzzle together.
Win at home, lose on the road, that was basically the story for the Kirkwood Eagle men's preseason play. KSP's Austin Bramley shows us how they're trying to overcome that pattern in conference play.
The Kirkwood Eagles men's basketball team is back on the hardwood, and head coach Doug Wegemeister believes his team will be led by its sophomores.
Well, you always want it to be your sophomores, obviously, the guys that have been through it for a year, know how things operate, know where the expectations are, and we got a good core of sophomores. Specifically, I would say we're leaning a little more on Casey Semler, Gage Heffernan, guys who played quality minutes last year, and have made an impact.
Casey Semler will be the Eagles' captain this season, and the 6'1" sophomore guard has some pretty lofty goals.
This is a conference title. That was our goal last year, and we got it done. We want to do the same thing this year. So.
Doug Wegemeister has been the head coach for the Eagles for 15 seasons, and in 15 years his goals haven't changed.
Well, it's true every fall. We're just trying to gain our identity. The better part of September was working on basketball-specific things, working on conditioning, getting these guys acclimated to college and academic rigors of college. And now, the better part of October and heading into November, it's about coming together as a team, knowing what we can and can't do, knowing what we want and do not want to do, and everybody buying into that philosophy.
Kirkwood Student Productions will be broadcasting the Eagles men's basketball game live from Johnson Hall against Des Moines Area Community College on January 30th. Austin Bramley, KSP Sports.
The Kirkwood women enter conference play after a mixed bag of wins and losses in the preseason. With conference play just starting, the women have a lot to look forward to this season. Every new year brings new opportunities for this team. Of course, they will be looking to keep the long and storied tradition going that Coach Kim Mule has created since he took over in 1989.
Okay, tradition is huge just because obviously when you come here and the years that they've won the national championships, you want to live up to that, and it's a lot because you have an X on your back automatically, and so you just try to come in and you have, the expectation is already set so high that you just have to continue, and I mean that's the reason you come here, because you want to win a national championship.
Mule's hopes for this team are high. His team is full of good veteran players.
Expectations are probably high because of so many sophomores back, so I would say their expectations are to win a lot of games and then see what happens in the postseason.
Crowd support is big, not for only the players, but the coaches as well.
Excitement. So realistically, at home, we love to play at home because the crowd does help you. On the road, depends who you're playing.
It builds so much momentum, and when you hear the crowd get up and start cheering just on, you know, hustle plays, or, you know, you hit a big three and the crowd goes wild, I mean, it just intensifies everything, and it just makes like playing that much more fun, and out there with all the crowd behind you, it helps so much.
The women are going to need crowd support both at home and on the road. Their next home game is December 15th against Iowa Lakes at 1 o'clock. With basketball in full swing, it won't be long before baseball and softball are in full swing as well. KSP's Jamal Smith checked in with coaches and players who are already in training.
Getting ready, Kirkwood softball and baseball teams are preparing and becoming equipped for their long season.
I think this year we've got good leadership, our sophomores. We've got a young team though with 15 freshmen. However, I think with the freshmen we have, we've got very good depth. But right now it's about building strength, endurance, mental toughness.
Every day they strive to do better, and sophomore leadership will be keen this year.
I think this spring is going to be a lot of fun. I think we're going to be really successful if the rate it keeps going right now. So it's going to be exciting, and I'm excited to see where our team goes. So.
Key returning player, their first game is on March 2nd.
I think this year we've got a nice chance to make a run at a conference championship again, and if we make it to the national tournament, I think we got a shot of making a run at the national tournament with our depth that we have.
The baseball team has a new coach, Todd Rima, and he knows how to get our men ready.
Well, I've been with these guys for 3 months, and going into a situation where you don't know a lot of the guys, it's a new program. To have the group of guys that I have, I feel very fortunate. The buy-in that we've had from our players has been tremendous. Their work ethic has been off the charts. Attitude has been exactly where I want it. So where we're at to this point, I'm very, very pleased. Are we as good as we need to be to this point? No, we've got room to grow and improve, and that's what we're trying to do every day. But love their attitude, love their work ethic. The unity right now is fantastic. So we're off to a great start.
The philosophy for both teams is play one game at a time, but to live every day as a champion. Kirkwood Community College Athletics. Jamal Smith, KSP News.
That's a look at sports. Back to you, Chris and Taylor.
All right, thank you, Marcus. And when we come back, Christmas trees with a special meaning.
You're watching news from Kirkwood Student Productions.
In 2008, over 1/4 of Iowa's fatalities were alcohol-related.
Come on, man. Related. Yeah,
Many students believe it will not happen to them, but they probably know of someone who has been involved in an alcohol-related incident. Please, have a plan. Don't drink and drive. Stop your friends from driving under the influence and prevent losing or hurting those close to you. Better safe than sorry.
Is that thing getting closer? Look how high that thing's going. Look out there, look at the debris.
Give me the camera.
No, just drive, I've got it.
Zoom in, zoom in.
I can't believe this is happening.
Oh, the size of that thing.
It's everywhere.
Are you getting this?
Yeah, I've got it. What was that?
It's the National Guard.
How'd they get here so fast?
I don't know.
Pull over, pull over.
Do you have what it takes to head into the heart of the storm? Check out NationalGuard.com.
Nearly 450 children will have a brighter Christmas this holiday season.
That's how many tags Kirkwood's Student Life Office requested for this year's Angel Tree Drive. Trees went up in all the major halls on campus, as well as the rec center and hotel at Kirkwood Center. Each year, people and organizations adopt a child at Tanager Place by taking a tag from the tree and purchasing gifts. This year, there were 442 tags in all. The deadline to take gifts to Student Life was December 7th.
It's become a Kirkwood tradition. Students gathered for the annual Glow Party in Iowa Hall. Kirkwood's Student Life Office sponsors the event. If it's light, you can bring it. From face paint to light sticks, about 100 people showed up for the event on November 15th.
That's it for this edition of KSP News. Thanks for watching.
From all of us at Kirkwood Student Productions, we hope you have a great holiday break.
Good morning and welcome to Eye on the Eagles. I'm your host, Austin Bramley, and today our special guest is Rick Anderson, Theater Director at Kirkwood. Welcome to the program, Rick. Thanks for joining us.
You're most welcome, Austin.
Tell us some of the joys about being the Theater Director here at Kirkwood.
Well, I think, you know, one of the best parts of what I do is having the opportunity to work with young people at Kirkwood, the freshmen and sophomores, getting them ready to transfer to colleges and universities. And allowing them to kind of find themselves in the theater and the music theater programs that we have here at Kirkwood.
Talk about maybe some of the challenges of planning a show here at Kirkwood.
Sure. I am in charge of planning the entire season, so when we're working on a musical, I work with Ray Saluka from Vocal Music, and we go through a process of listening to shows and reading shows and figuring out what's possible, what would be great for our students to engage in as far as musical theater. Then we make that selection. The rest of the season, I work with my technical director, Shelley Ford, and we are constantly reading plays. We're reading now for next year, and then we try and set a varied season so that our students get as many varied experiences as possible.
Kind of tell us maybe about the play-by-play, the process that goes on when planning a show.
Sure. Well, after the season's selected and we set all the dates for auditions, we will hold 2 days of auditions. These are prepared auditions where students come in with prepared monologues. If it's a musical, prepared monologue in a song. That's followed by callbacks on the third day, and we cast usually that evening, and we start rehearsals the following day. So it's a long 3-day process. We can get anywhere from 20 to 40, sometimes 60 students coming into audition, so it can take quite a bit of time to go through that process.
Now I guess we'll give you the opportunity to promote your next show.
Sure.
What's going on there?
We're going to be presenting Steve Martin's Picasso at the Lapine en Gilles, and Steve Martin, the comedian, the wild and crazy guy, wrote this play. And it was right toward the end of the 20th century, so it's talking about moving into a new millennium, kind of, in a very comic way, where we have Picasso meeting Einstein in a bar in 1904 in Paris. We have a guest director from Mount Mercy University, Kathy Puzzavellis, will be directing that. That show is already in rehearsal, and it will open in early February. And we follow that with Sarah Rule's play Eurydice, which will audition in February, and that goes up in early April. So we're off and running and fairly busy.
Well, thanks for joining us to talk about the theater department. Next up is Nate Walter. He joins us from the new Eagle Tech store. I'm Austin Bramley, and come right back.
Everybody can help by picking up their trash, and please do your part and recycle.
Welcome back to Eye on the Eagles. I'm Chris Ackman, and joining us today is Nate Walter from the Eagle Tech store here at Kirkwood. And thanks for joining us, Nate. Glad to have you. And you've been really busy because I've seen the construction. It's really coming together. The store is coming together. Everything is just probably got to be in one big, like, huge hustle now to get things started. And when is Eagle Tech officially opening?
We hope to have our doors open the first week in December. So shortly after we get back from our Thanksgiving break, we should have the doors open for you guys.
That's going to be great. And you know, I heard that Eagle Tech is going to be one of only 3 college Apple dealers that are authorized in the state. Like, what does that mean for Kirkwood to be one of those 3?
I think it's another prime example of how Kirkwood is really giving their students the best experience they possibly can while they're here. And not only the students, but also the faculty and staff that will be able to take advantage of it. And as for the student, I think it's an experience that they wouldn't be able to get on most of the community colleges and 4-year institutions, even outside of Iowa.
Yeah, and you look at all the different, it sounds like there's just so many different parts of Eagle Tech, and you have the where you can get help on your computer, everything from like picking out a computer to technical questions. Like, how will students get the best out of this resource?
Sure. I think one of the best ways for people to really use Eagle Tech is to come back often. We want them to come in to get suggestions on what we think or what they need for their classes, depending on their major. If they need help setting it up, have simple troubleshooting, need help with updates, we'd be able to help them. Or if something goes wrong and they have to have warranty work and repairs on the computer, we can take care of that, and we can also do non-warranty work.
Yeah, and the Iowa City campus isn't going to miss out either, because they also have a kiosk right at their campus too to get back with Eagle Tech.
Yeah, that's correct. In the Iowa City bookstore, we have 2 laptops set up that students will be able to use to pick out which computer fits them the best and order it right there.
Yeah, and you also talked about the different majors and how you can kind of personalize that computer for students and their majors. Did you go around and like talk to teachers about this and what kind of specifically they need for their computers?
Yeah, actually my technician, Matt Lukemeyers, and Craig Hewins, my technology buyer for the store, went around campus and talked to instructors from all different departments to really hone in on which computer, whether it's an Apple or Dell and HP, to figure out which one is the best for that department. And we wanted to compile a list together so students knew when they came in, whether it's returning students or new students, what is the best fit for them.
Yeah, and also for students like me who are kind of uneducated about their computer, how can they really use this resource? Can they just come in and say, I don't really know anything about my computer? Like, how can Eagle Tech help the person who knows absolutely nothing about their computer?
Sure. We have free 20-minute appointments, and we take walk-ins that they can sit down with one of our part-time members. We call them our techsperts. Majority of them are all actually Kirkwood students here too. So, which I think is awesome that we'd be able to hire a fantastic staff that is Kirkwood students. But anyways, they'd be able to set up appointments or just walk in and say, I need help with my computer. Maybe it's, I like working with photos, so I want to learn more about Photoshop or iPhoto, or I just want to know how it works and how to turn it on. We'd be able to help them out with that.
Yeah, all right, well, thank you. Eagle Tech coming this December to the Kirkwood campus. Thank you for being on the show with us. And that does about all our time today for Eye on the Eagles. I'm Chris Ackman, and thank you for watching.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, she did what? And then oh my gosh, I can't even believe it.
Hey, come on, get out of the way.
I can't.
Are you serious?
Hold on a second.
Walk faster, come on, you're gonna make me late.
You wouldn't treat people like this on the sidewalk, so don't treat people like this on the road. Bumper to bumper, Face to face. Show a little courtesy.